Alright guys, the time has come. What did I think of Wicked for Good? Hey everyone, it's Brian. Welcome to the awards contender. I am very excited to give you my review today of Wicked for Good. I will try to be as spoiler free as possible, but I think to talk about this movie, you have to say some light spoilers here and there, so I will do my best though. Like, if you were going into the second Wicked movie knowing almost nothing, if you've never seen the Broadway show, I will try my best not to spoil too much. So this has been an interesting few days. Up until last week, everything about Wicked for Good was through the roof. Like the praise, everything I had heard about it said John M. Chu had stuck the landing, he'd made another great Wicked film, that the performances were outstanding, and everything about Wicked for Good was spectacular. And then in the 2 or 3 days leading up to me seeing the movie, suddenly mixed to negative reviews started piling up online. And I went, oh geez, maybe it's not going to be very good. So walking into the film last night, I had kind of tempered expectations. I was like, Brian, it might just be okay. I didn't think it was going to be bad. I was like, it might just be a 5 or a 6 out of 10. It won't be great. And, all I can do here, guys, is give you my honest reaction. I was with this movie every step of the way. From the glorious and exciting opening scene to that devastating and emotional final 10 minutes when I was crying so hard at the very end of this thing. I thought Wicked for Good was a beautiful film. Even slightly better, I would say, than the original. I mean, I love me a darker story. And so even though I very much liked Wicked 1, part 1, it is kind of lighthearted and bouncy for a good, 90 minutes or so. And something I really took to in Wicked for Good was the darkness of the story, how intense it is at times. So I liked the darker elements of the story, right from the get-go. You have maybe 2 or 3 scenes that have some comedy, some lightheartedness, and then for the most part, you go into serious drama territory. And I thought this film handled that aspect really well. I think on a technical level, this film improves on the first in one big way. The cinematography, I think, in Wicked for Good is much better than in Wicked Part 1. The night before I watched Wicked for Good, I watched the first one again. I hadn't seen it since its opening weekend, and I very much enjoyed it. A lot of aspects of the first film are a lot of fun, but some of the cinematography, it's very washed out. That scene when Elphaba is singing The Wizard and I, and she's running all the way to that cliff, it's so blown out and white, it looks terrible, and it does take away from the emotion of that scene. There's a couple moments in For Good that has that same washed out quality, but much less. I found the cinematography in the second one to be darker and richer and more beautiful to look at, even in the scenes that have a lot of CGI. I found that aspect of the second one better than the first. And then you have these performances, which are just sublime. Elphaba and Galinda are in much different emotional places in the second film. They've grown a lot as characters, but even though they have different viewpoints on certain things, their love for each other remains. Pretty much any scene in Wicked for Good where they are on screen together, whether it's a brief scene or a longer scene, whether they're talking or they're singing, I just was invested in every moment of that relationship, of that friendship, of where they are now in their lives and all of the different places they're going to go. Anyone going into the second film concerned, will the performances stack up to the first movie? I thought Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande were wonderful in this second film. I think they're both still very much Oscar worthy. I still think Ariana Grande is the frontrunner for supporting actress. I mean, I know a lot of people are coming down on Wicked for Good right now. I've been reading some of the tweets and reviews the last few hours. A lot of people don't seem to like Wicked for Good, which surprises me, guys. Honestly, I'm kind of shocked. In the theater last night with my family watching this movie, I loved almost every minute of it. I really enjoyed myself. And when it comes to blockbuster entertainment at the movie theaters this year, this is one of the better ones. I have now seen pretty much all of the blockbusters that came out last summer. You have Thunderbolts and Mission Impossible and Jurassic World and Superman and Fantastic Four. To me, Wicked for Good is way better than all of those movies. So much more heart and emotion and purpose from beginning to end. I don't really get it. I don't get why people are so disappointed in this second film. I mean, tonally, it is kind of different from the first one. You know, the first movie a year ago, you get introductions to all of the characters. You have better songs, more well-known songs, and like one scene after another. You have Popular and The Wizard and I and Defying Gravity at the end, of course. I mean, Defying Gravity is the best song of the entire saga. And that's what ends the first film and really gets you excited. The second movie, the songs are not as strong. I will admit that. But there's more of an emotional tie to the story and the characters, I think, in the second one. I cared more about these people in the second movie than I did in the first. That's just me. So I didn't care so much that we didn't have one banger song after another. Like, I felt in the first movie, it was a little bit by the book at times. It was like, okay, we had this musical number, and then we have to get to Popular, we have to get to this part. It didn't come across that way for me in Wicked for Good. I felt like there was more room for the story to breathe in a way, because the second act is shorter than the first. Like, I really enjoyed the scenes when we went away from Elphaba and Galinda, when we had Nessa and Bach and their moments together. Their relationship is not like fully fleshed out in the second film, but I enjoyed their scenes and all of the moments when Elphaba would show up in a room when no one's expecting her, and she's trying to do the right thing. And then it all ends in carnage, right? There's a couple of those moments in the first half of the film. I thought they were compelling. I thought Galinda's rise as a celebrity personality in Oz, this positive influence on the community, and everything she has to reckon with emotionally, internally, in what she's doing, especially going along with a system that is not putting her friend Elphaba in a good light. Ariana Grande has so much to play in this movie, you know, like scene to scene. There is just this lovely growth in her character from the beginning to the end of Wicked for Good. And I mean, her moments of singing, her moments of emotion, she cries a lot in like the last half hour. She has impressed me so much in these two films. I mean, when they announced she was going to play Galinda, I was like, Ariana Grande? I was like, okay, that's a choice. I mean, she hadn't really acted much before, right? Before Wicked, she had been in a couple things, but I thought of her more as a pop star. And boy, did she come into her own in these two films with this character. It was so lovely to witness, like a star born on the screen. She just attacked this role with everything she had. She is mesmerizing, she is authentic. All of the humorous moments, all of the sad, emotional beats throughout both of these films. She really came into her own, and I do think she is worthy, guys, of winning the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for Wicked for Good. I do. I know there's already talk of like, oh, Teyana Taylor, the prize is yours now. Amy Madigan, and you know, I'm just one person, right? I'm one voice. Anything can happen. Maybe come January, February, there's enough negativity on Wicked for Good where that's not going to happen anymore. Like, if I was voting right now, I think Ariana Grande deserves the win. I think she's just sublime in these two movies, and she brings it home in Wicked for Good. Her final 30 minutes or so in that movie, I mean, they are sensational. She is so effective at the end of this new film that I'm like, yeah, give her the Oscar. Ariana Grande has deserved it in my mind. We'll see what happens, but she is not the only person worthy, at least of a nomination from the film. Cynthia Erivo, I have also seen in the last few hours, like being taken out of actress. And that just boggles my mind, you guys. Elphaba was a tricky character to play in the first film. It's a very tricky character to play in the second one. Most of the time she's on the screen, there's visual effects surrounding her. You know, early on, there's a scene when she's singing around a bunch of animals, like on the yellow brick road. And she sells it. Like, she sells the emotion of the songs, moments when she's flying around, when she's in her little hut environment, like where she lives, you know, and she's casting spells, and you have like 1,000 visual effects in the frame. Like, if you just watch her performance, she keeps everything grounded in a way. I think a lot of actresses, very talented singer actresses who had taken on this role, they would have gotten lost in Wicked for Good. Cynthia Erivo never did for me. I thought she was more impressive in a way in this second film than she was in the first. So to say she's out of Best Actress now, I mean, it's just crazy to me. I don't get it. I mean, I don't think she ever really had a shot to win, especially up against Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. But even if she's not in slot 2 or 3 or something, like, Cynthia Erivo deserves to be there. I think she conquered the impossible in a way with this character. I was really taken with her as well in Wicked for Good, and Cynthia Erivo deserves to be in Best Actress. Now, no one else in the movie is going to be floated for an Oscar nomination. Like in my Best Supporting Actor video a few weeks ago, I said, what about Jonathan Bailey? Like maybe he can get in. He got a SAG nomination for the first film. He's got a couple nice dramatic moments. He's got one really wonderful moment with Elphaba, but there's not enough to his character, I think. There's not quite enough to like to talk about him as a Best Supporting Actor contender now having seen the film. I liked him in it, and oh my god, he is even dreamier in the second film than he was in the first. He looks amazing in this movie. Yeah, Jonathan Bailey, like, can we have him in every movie ever made, please? Thank you. He's good in it. He's never, like, great. He doesn't have a dramatic moment that really takes your breath away, so, you know, I don't think he's going anywhere this award season. Same thing with, like, Michelle Yeoh and Jeff Goldblum. They've got some nice moments in this. But like Michelle Yeoh especially, she basically just plays one note, like, throughout the whole movie. That was disappointing to some extent. I wanted a little bit more out of her character. Jeff Goldblum gets one nice emotional beat in this. I actually really liked like one scene of his performance. Kind of took me by surprise, actually. I got a little teary-eyed at a Jeff Goldblum moment. I mean, everyone is good in this, even if their characters are slightly underwritten at times. Like, I've heard people say that Michelle Yeoh is bad in this. I didn't feel that way. Even though there is kind of like one note she's playing, I really enjoyed her presence in this film. I kind of liked her villainy at times. There's one moment she has with Galinda, like, that I thought was really effective. Like this one part where she just tells her off. It's like halfway through. I thought that was really good. So Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande totally stuck the landing. I thought they were spectacular. They were everything I wanted them to be and then some. And I do think they deserve to be in the Oscars conversation. They deserve to get in their duet of For Good near the end of the movie. It was so emotional. I was teary-eyed right when they started singing it, and by the end, I was pretty well gone. There's one shot where you have Cynthia Erivo on the left side of the frame and Ariana Grande on the right side of the frame. I'll just say that. I mean, I was gone. I thought that was such a beautiful, devastating moment, and then everything that comes next. I thought this movie worked. I thought it was really great. Is it perfect? No. It's not a perfect film. There are a couple issues I had with it. I mean, I have to be honest. You know, I floated a 9 out of 10 for this. I don't think I can quite go there. I was mixed on how they incorporated the Wizard of Oz story into this movie. So one thing I really liked about Wicked for Good, how they incorporate Dorothy and Toto and stuff, is how they're mainly background characters. I liked that about it. I know some people have been frustrated, like, you never see her face, you don't know who the actress is, and stuff like that. I think if Wicked for Good had gone all in on Dorothy and Toto and everything Wizard of Oz, and you had 20-30 minutes spent with, like, this actress playing Dorothy, and you're seeing her face, and you have dialogue from, like, the 1939 film or something, I think the movie would have crumbled. This is not her story. It's Galinda and Elphaba's story through and through. So I think like the Wizard of Oz elements are there just enough. Like you have to have some of that. To have none of those aspects wouldn't have made sense, first off. And it wouldn't have felt right for the movie. So I think like the handling of Dorothy, Toto, all of that stuff, I thought that worked pretty well actually. I mixed on it because of how it incorporates like the Scarecrow and the Tin Man, like how those characters come to be. That part of the film didn't fully work for me, especially with everything that happens with Scarecrow. I'll just say, you know, I mean, I get it. Like I understand why that comes into being and, you know, how it's of course a part of the main show and stuff. But like on a dramatic level, some of that near the end, I was kind of mixed on that. There were a couple pacing issues in like the middle 30 to 40 minutes. There were a couple times I felt the length, but not too many. And then there's one like musical number halfway through I don't much care for in the Broadway musical. I didn't much care for it in the film. I'll just say, it deals with the wizard. And tonally, it just doesn't seem to fit this movie. It feels like something you would see in the first film. And it does go on for a while. I don't love that scene. I was kind of like, all right, let's get to the next parts. So this is not a perfect film. I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10. It's not going to be in my top 10 favorites of the year. But like for what it's doing, like what this movie is, being the second part of a two-part story a year later, bringing back this cast and bringing this story home, I think John M. Chu and company did their job. I think it's a great watch, very exciting and intense at times, very sad, distressing, emotional near the end. I was with this story all the way through. I think something that very much helps it, like even though there are flaws here and there and things, like those performances by Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, they just sell the whole thing. They are wonderful to watch together and apart. I love the casting of these two. I knew in the first film these were the right choices to play Elphaba and Galinda, and it's even more obvious, I think, in the second film. These were the actors born for these roles in the film versions. They were the right people at the right time. And I do think their performances and the movie as a whole, it stuck the landing on Wicked. I am thrilled with the outcome of this story, with this movie. I did not walk out of Wicked for good, like, shaking my head like, man, they really messed that up. A lot of people are doing that, and I don't really understand it. If you love these characters in this world, I think there's more to like in the second film than even in the first one, and I can't wait to watch it again. I saw this film with most of my family members last night, and everyone but my brother. My brother's not a big musical guy, so he was kind of bored, but everybody else I was with really loved this with their full hearts. I think it's going to do huge box office numbers, and I think a lot of people are really going to love Wicked for Good and see it again and again. To suggest it's this major disappointment in the world of film in 2025, I don't think it is. Not even by a long shot. I have seen a lot of terrible films this year. A lot of disappointing movies. A lot of big studio blockbusters that left me feeling cold. I felt nothing. I felt so much for this world and these characters in Wicked for Good, and by the end, I was sobbing. I was sobbing hard. And that says something about the success of a film, I think. I don't cry in everything. I cried really hard at the end of Hamnet a few weeks ago. But I don't cry in everything, and I was prepared to not cry in Wicked for Good. And by the time we got to the song For Good and the ending to this film, like the cut to black in the end credits, like I was kind of gone. This movie in every way worked its magic on me. I think it's Oscar worthy in Best Actress, Supporting Actress, Picture of course, maybe a couple technical categories. It's probably not going to do as well at the Oscars as the first film did. Based on the critics and stuff right now, it's not going to do as well. But I very much believe, especially Ariana Grande, deserves to be a frontrunner. She is amazing in this film alongside Cynthia Erivo. I think they both did fantastic work in both of these films, and they are both absolutely phenomenal in Wicked for Good. It's not a perfect film. Again, I had a couple issues with it here and there, but in the world of like studio blockbuster filmmaking, this is one of the best we've had in 2025. I give Wicked for Good a very enthusiastic 8 out of 10. Thanks so much for watching and subscribing, and let me know in the comments below what did you think of Wicked for Good, and I'll see you next time at the Awards Contender.